What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Alan Wake 2 and a physical copy and ask the question, will it ever happen? Now, look, I know the official confirmation from them and us sitting out here, 2.5 weeks before launch is it's not happening, right? It's digital only. And here's the thing, when it comes in 2.5 weeks, it is just going to be digital only. Obviously, they've given their reasons why, and you can like it or dislike it. I've talked about it before. I heavily dislike this move, even though this is my game of the fall. This is actually over Spider-Man. This is my most anticipated game. I have a lot of confidence, actually, that this game is going to be extremely, extremely good. I want it to be extremely good. The physical thing is definitely just something that's been hanging over its head, I'd say, since the beginning, since they announced it, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to make this video. There's so many comments I see. Pretty much anytime I talk about Alan Wake, there's two things that come up. Number one, wow, this game looks incredible. This is kind of like a underappreciated thing that may go under the radar and be great. Number two, I can't believe this isn't coming out in physical. And in fact, I see it every day. I see people telling me that this is going to stop them from buying. And now here's the thing. By the way, I'm not like distrusting those people. I'm not calling those people liars. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what actually happens with this game if the move pays off. I've talked about it many times before. Alan Wake, for as good as I think it is, and I think it's a great franchise, it's never sold well, like, at all. In fact, why do you think it took, 13 years for Sam Lake to get his second game in this franchise? The games have just never done well. The original game was more of a cult classic. American Nightmare just really didn't do it to, again, like the larger player base, I'd say. And then this game, I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to sell all that well. I've talked about that before, it being in a pretty not great spot. Now, there's no place you can move it where there's zero competition, but will the digital-only thing pay off, or will it not? Obviously, digital-only, it being cheaper, right? And that's the big, that's why I keep saying it, right? Will it pay off? Well, it's cheaper, if they say, doing it digital than if it was physical, right? So is that going to work? Is that going to increase sales? Now, will it ever happen? I want to say this, because although the official word is, it's not going to happen physically, I'm going to lay out a prediction right now, and I'm going to say it's going to happen. It's not going to happen at launch, but I do think after the fact, it's going to be more akin to indie games. Now, like Remedy's talked about their size and that they're not really the size of like a AAA team. They make AAA kind of quality games, but not with the size of one, right? I really think this is actually going to be more in line with what you see of kind of popular indie games, where when they're announced and there's kind of hype on it, but to a much smaller scale, right? There's hype. The game is just digital. The game comes out and they say, well, you know what? We're going to do a physical release. It's going to be in 4 months. It's going to be kind of a limited time run. And there's different publishers. There's different companies that work with these studios to make a limited kind of run physical edition. I think that happens to Alan Wake. And should it need to happen? No, not necessarily. I think it should have done physical kind of like all along. But when I look at this, it's like an indie situation, but to a much, much bigger scale, where I think this thing would actually do pretty well physically, or at least I would. I mean, here's the thing. I want this game physically. If there's any game kind of that I would want physically nowadays, it would probably be Alan Wake 2. You never know about the future. You never know if you're getting a third game. Again, we've already talked about kind of the cult classic status of Alan Wake and it being digital only, and then say it's got like 50,000 units physically and that's it. That's all they do, right? Like, you want to get in on that. You want to be one of those only people that have it. I think it would work incredibly well. I think honestly what needs to happen is just the money needs to be right? Like, number one, it would have to be more expensive. So like the game's only 50, it would have to probably be 60 or 70 if they're going to do a physical. So you'd have to like be ready for that one. And number two, you'd have to find the right company. So like THQ, right? They tweeted and, wink, wink, nod, nod, like they want to do it. And they did that all the way back, I think, in May or June, right? So maybe, and I hope this is what's happened. I hope there's been behind the scenes kind of conversations with either, THQ or somebody else, any other company that maybe expressed interest in doing it. Look, again, it has to work out for Remedy. They got to make some money from it. And whoever's doing it, whoever's literally going to, I guess in this way, publish the game physically, they have to make money off of it. And, as long as they can make it work, and I think they can, because, like, again, I think it's literally an indie thing where there's like 5,000 units available, right? There's only like 5,000 discs in the world of a certain indie game. I think it's that exact same thing, but it's just bigger. It's a AAA game that originally refused to do it. So I do think it happened. That's actually why I wanted to make this video, just to kind of throw it out there one more time. A couple weeks away, still nothing. There's no word on it being physical, but I will make the maybe controversial prediction here. I do think it happens. I think the game comes out. I think that, hopefully it does really well in terms of sales, right? Now, critically, they're going to say what they're going to say, but sales-wise, I'd love to see like a statement from Remedy saying like, hey, this is our most purchased game, like over Control, over Alan Wake. This is the best we've done with a game. It's sold 2 million units in the first week, or whatever they would say, right? And we're actively looking. We're actively looking to do a physical, limited run. That's what we want to do. That's a Twitter post, that I want to see really badly, and I do think it'll happen. I really do. Not now, not in a week from now. I think it'll have to be probably after the game releases. Although, you know what? The week the game comes out would kind of be pretty nice, but I don't know. If you do that, you might stop people from getting it digitally. That's actually another reason, right? So if you wait till the game ideally does well the first week, let's say, right? You get the most units you're going to sell in that time. You're going to sell afterwards, but you get a lot then. And then you say, okay, we're going to do physical as well. If you make a physical announcement the week before, then maybe people don't buy it like day one. They don't buy it digitally, right? Because they'll say, well, I'll wait 2 months and I'll get it physically. Well, that's great. Support, physical games. That's awesome. However, to support the game itself, that's what they want. And that may not be ideal for them. So let me know what you guys think about it. Do you think that they'll do it in the end? Let me know. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.